Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis and today we'll be doing another speed build in The Sims 4, and this is part 3 of the downtown retail, so the final episode video, whatever you want to call it, in this series. So this one is the longest one, so feel free to get a snack, get a drink or something like that, because we'll be here for about an hour. A little less than an hour, but you know, still about an hour. If you can hear my dog, she is currently eating her dinner, which means at probably the end of this she will start whining because she will want her calendar thing, that the thing that you get around Christmas time. She knows the word, that's the reason why I'm not saying it. So here in a bit, if you hear her whine, I may have to get up. Of course I'll pause it, so there might be a small break here. Not a small break in your side, but a small break for me. Yeah, you get it. Let's get back to the build. So this one is the furniture shop. And the last build, which if you haven't seen it, I will link it in the eye icon as well as in the description box. The part 1 and part 2 will be down there as well as in the eye. If I can put both of them in the eye, I believe I can. So last part was like a fast fashion. Oh, it looks like she's got some energy, so she's going to play with one of her toys really quickly. It's not one of her squeaky toys, though. So, if you hear her running around, that is my dog. But so, the last part was the fast fashion, kind of like Urban Outfitters. Stella, you know not to get too close to the tree. Stella. Come here. Sorry for the distractions. She really is liking to push her boundaries with the tree. We didn't put up a tree last year at my apartment, my roommate and I. It was mainly me who was there because she had she went abroad for a few months, but we didn't put up a tree. So this is her first Christmas tree, and Stella just is really liking to push those boundaries and seeing if she can get fully underneath without getting in trouble. Yeah, so anyway, so the last part was the kind of like Urban Outfitters, the fashion one. And then the one before that was the bakery. So if either one of those sound interesting to you, then go ahead and check those out. So this one, as you can see right now, I'm kind of getting the shape of it. This is part of the reason why it took me so long for this one, is because the shape, but also the fact that it's a furniture store. So I ended up being like a little interior designer. I was making a lot of separate different rooms and everything, and for the actual interior part, and I changed the layout a few different times. So there's technically an elevator, but of course with the elevators you can only have one, and I put that on the top floor. Well, not really the top floor, because the top floor is part of one apartment. So it's like one apartment gets a floor and a half, basically. But so it's on the floor right below that is the top of the elevator, so the third floor. But of course you can't put an elevator on the first and second if there's one on the top. That's why I hate that you can only have one elevator, because also what if you wanted to make your own? Oh, I accidentally got Siri on. Hold on. I just looked down at my phone and saw that my phone was also recording my voice, and I realized that I accidentally turned Siri on at some point during that. And then that's also something too, that I had a few issues like that where you saw the black screen, where I had to figure some stuff out because my computer, I've also been having a lot of trouble with my computer recently, where I would turn off my computer, or not turn off my computer. I would accidentally unplug my computer. Either it would, the charger would fall out or something like that, or it wasn't as bad then. But like if the charger is out even for like a split second, it will die on me. I don't think it was too much of an issue for this build. In the more recent builds, it has been a very big issue. So is the hard drive space and everything like that. So I don't think I had too much problems with it in this build. I don't think I had to redo too much work. I don't remember seeing too much of redos over here besides the stuff that I've already talked about, me just being indecisive. So there's a little bit of indecisiveness in this. So what was I saying though? I have no idea what I was saying. This one, the other reason why it took so long was because it's a furniture shop. And I was too busy trying to figure out, like, I had to create different little rooms for the actual shop itself. And that took a lot of time because it's basically like setting up so many different rooms with so much different detail and clutter and everything. This shop has by far the most clutter out of the three of them. Because you'll see it when, of course, I start putting stuff in. The first floor is all the different rooms. So it's like has a few living rooms. I think it's actually a couple. I think there's two of them. There's 2 offices in the middle, 2 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, like full on kitchens and everything. I think you could only do 2, because of the space constraints. If I had a bigger, or if I had done the whole thing, just one big furniture shop, then of course I could have had even more, but they're kind of sectioned out into each category. So both of the living rooms are by each other, both of the offices are in the middle by each other, and then both of the bedrooms are by each other. There's 1 adult and 1 kids, and then both kitchens are in the back by each other. And the top floor, it's kind of separated more by what it is. So all the showers by each other, all the bathtubs are by each other, and then all the toilets are by each other. And then I even changed some of the toilet paper holders into different colors and everything. And then there's a lighting section. And as you can see, I'm doing a lot of saving here because, so I am still, this is something that I hadn't noticed before now. I am still in Magnolia Promenade, however you pronounce it. So during this part, at some point, I move it to Willow Creek. I don't think I've moved the final version to Willow Creek. So at one point, it will just appear in Willow Creek. You'll see what would be next to it, the blue velvet, and next to it all of a sudden, instead of that little street on the side. So that's something to be aware of. I changed the lot to, at one point, it ended up being, I think it's the same lot size and everything too. So what was I going to say? So I'm saving a lot more throughout this, and also because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to keep on redoing my stuff. So, and now you see where I originally was I was trying to put the elevator on all levels, and of course I wasn't able to do that. And in this part, I went back and added more detail to some of the other 2 retail lots. I added some closets, as you can see here, and I actually put some stuff in some of the closets. I go through debug a little bit. This was before I had better build by. So, and now you can see the fake trash chute that I put in. So that's like the bottom of the trash chute, and on each of the floors above that, it actually has the regular trash chute. So now, like, pretend like that's where it would fall down into. Of course, in reality, it would be like more like an actual dumpster instead of just like a regular trash can, because that wouldn't be big enough to actually hold everything. But I didn't have any dumpsters, so I guess that the lot that I had just wasn't, or the dumpster. I thought that they did in city living, but I guess they don't. I guess that's just the eco lifestyle, eco living, one of the two. So there is that. So, and some of the stuff that I'm putting in now, like I had a lot of bathrooms on that one floor at first. I changed it to only be 2 bathrooms for that, and they're a little bit more stylized. I feel like that it makes more sense. This part I remember taking some time. This little opening part, I actually kind of wish that I had better build by at this time. I just hadn't thought about downloading it yet. And I was kind of, you know, for whatever reason, I've downloaded mods and custom content before. Actually, I've never downloaded mods. I've only done custom content before. And so I was a little bit wary when it came to to mods specifically. And so I was kind of unsure on whether or not that I wanted to, and whether or not I wanted to actually finally do it, how much room it would take. But honestly, I do not regret finally downloading it. I think it's made some of my last few builds that I have just recently made in actual real time, talking real time here. Those ones have been so much easier, and it's really meant that I can get even more creative with some of the stuff that I'm doing. So I'm really excited to show you. Some of those builds are actually coming out next week. I think one of them, actually no, none of them are coming out next week. They're coming out in 2 weeks. Potentially one next week, depending on how big the final build. I haven't finished it yet. I have one build that I'm planning on coming out in 2 weeks that might end up being more than one video. And if that's the case, then I'll push up one of the other builds. So there is that too. So now I'm building the lighting section. This alone took me so much time. As you can kind of tell by how my computer is now, you can kind of tell by the speed of everything, how it's being done, how my computer is starting to really slow down a little bit because it's so much detail and it's taking so much memory and everything. So I'm putting pretty much all the lighting in, if you can hear me. See, this is what I mean. I think I have headphones on, so I'm pretty sure I just heard her whine. I think you probably could hear that. She's asking for her calendar. I just fed her right before starting it. This is what I mean. She's not hungry. She just thinks that she should get it right afterwards. She's such a spoiled dog. I love her. Obviously, I love her. If I didn't love her, I wouldn't spoil her. But yeah, that's what she's asking for. And she knows that she doesn't get that. Not right after eating dinner. You're not getting that yet. You'll get that here in like 30, 40 minutes. Huh, Stella Bella? Her Instagram is also in the description box if you want to follow her on the Instagram. I keep on saying this. I do plan on posting a lot more on her Instagram. Not only her Instagram, but my Instagram. And I plan it. Doesn't mean that's going to happen. So, because I plan to start on December 1st because I was going to record all of the calendar. And then that didn't happen. So, say love you. Anyway. So as you can see, some of the furniture and stuff, I started with this floor because it was a lot easier than the first floor for whatever reason, because I just didn't know. I don't know for whatever reason why I started on this floor, because honestly, the first floor, like this, okay, the second floor, yes, I'm putting in just like all the stuff, right? But it took me some time too because I ordered it by price as well. So it goes from the cheapest to the most expensive. The most expensive is always the one closest to the wall or the one that's farthest away. So whenever you're walking from the stairs, it'll be the cheapest going to the most expensive. Oh, and there's sinks here. I forgot to mention the sinks. Going back to the lighting section, I added some more to the wall and everything. Oh, and there's there's a tiny mirror section that will surround the lighting section as well. This is the bathrooms I was talking about. So, and I got a little adventurous because I saw some of this. Okay, the best part about doing this furniture shop, I now know about so much more lighting that I had ever seen before. I actually am so glad that I did this one specifically because it got me much more familiar with a lot of items that I had never used before and I had never even thought about using before. So from in the next few builds too, I start using some more of these lighting things that I haven't seen as much. I haven't seen many when I watch Sims content on YouTube. I haven't seen lighting fixtures. So if you, I don't think they're used as much as they should be. They're really cool. So I would, if you liked any of the lighting in here, I would keep a lookout in your own build. Because I had no idea. Even with some of the posters and stuff like that, some of them, I don't use all these posters that often because I don't often do the industrial style. So some of this stuff I haven't seen in such a long time. And so it's one of those things that kind of out of sight, out of mind, or not the type of build that you usually build. So you don't think about it as much. So I think, honestly, if you're feeling like you are kind of in a building, what's the word, slump, then I would consider building a furniture shop and just going at it because it gets you really, really familiar with a lot of the things, all the clutter. You get to see some of the things that's there. This was also before, so this was around the Industrial Loft kit coming out, but this was before the Spa Day update. So it got me familiar with some of the things that came in Spa Day. Even before that, actually no, this was after the Spa Day update because those yoga mats were different. Those were the updated yoga mats. So never mind. This was after Spa Day update. Wow. I didn't think that the Spa Day update was that long ago. Wow. It feels like just yesterday. But so there's a lot of things in here that I don't use as much. Some of the mirrors I don't use. So a lot of the mirrors are in here as well with the sinks and everything. Each mirror and each sink is different. There's no repeats. When it comes to the towels on the side, I think there are some repeats of them, but there are no repeats in color. So, as you can imagine, that's part of the reason why it took me so long was because of that too. I wish I could have done a carpeting section. If I could have, I would have. I really wish that was an option. If I could have done a paint section, I would have done a paint section as well. But even some of the more boutique furniture shops, sometimes they don't even have those. So this is kind of more of like a small business furniture shop where they have a ton of items and stuff like that. They just don't have the paint because they probably don't have deals with like all the paint companies and with the flooring companies and everything. So just pretend it's something like that. When it comes to here too, the showers and everything, each shower has different paint behind it. Even I don't think I did that for the sinks. I may have done that for the sinks. I think I did that for the bathtubs. The sides of them, not the backs of them, because the backs were pretty much, for half of them was the brick wall. So I think I kept the brick wall for pretty much all of them. Here's the mirror section. As you can see, it will be surrounding the lighting section. That's also part of the reason why this one took me so long. So the build itself, obviously this one's the longest build, but the last two videos, they've been about 30 minutes long each. So this one, the whole build itself, before I sped it up, was about 36 hours. And that's just what I filmed. I've gone into the build before putting it up on the gallery, because I believe when you put it up on the gallery, it will save the things that you've already put for sale. So I went ahead and did all that work. I toggled all of the showers for sale, bathtubs, the toilet paper, everything. I've dressed the mannequins. I believe that saved into the gallery as well. I'm hoping it did. I'm not 100% sure about that. And then there's the baked goods as well. So I toggled all of that just in case I did some play testing. When it came to the very top of this build, that, as you probably saw for that brief second, there was the roof with the double bed underneath. So I was making sure you could use both sides of that bed, and I adjusted that. The one thing I didn't notice when I was playtesting was the speakers. I believe the speakers are too high in pretty much all of the build. Definitely the bakery. I mentioned that in the bakery video. I am pretty sure that I play tested the bed, so I'm 90% sure that is correct, the correct layout for that. I would check that quickly, so at the very end, it's not going to look like how it ends up being here. It's going to be off to the side a little bit, I believe, or actually, I can't remember how it ends up. If I remember, I will put it. I haven't done the beginning intro videos, so whatever it looked like in the very beginning of this video, that's what I mean. It'll be probably the very first clip if I remember to do it, first or second. I will put it as one of those two, just to show you what I mean. So the first 2 seconds of it, the opening of this video, should have had it. As long as I remembered to do it that way. I'll make sure I put a note somewhere where I'll remember that. But so that is also that apartment. I'm pretty sure I play tested that to make sure that bed works. Just so you know, I do have a bonus video out tomorrow on how to make, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is, since I haven't told you. It's how to actually make a working apartment. So all of these apartments that I have built and I've shown you through these last few videos, you can play in them. It is a little difficult, but you can play in them. I haven't seen any video like it. I do apologize if someone hasn't made a video of it. I searched it as of like a couple weeks ago when I was initially making all this, getting the video ready for the voiceover and everything. So, it should still probably will be the first of its kind of the video of how to make a functional apartment, and build it yourself, but specifically how to make an apartment with a retail lot, attached to it. I'm pretty sure no one has made a video, but if someone has, I do apologize. I don't think anyone has said this specifically, though. So, of course, I'm not going to ruin what it is because I do want you to go check that video out that will be posted tomorrow. I don't know how long it will be because I'm actually pre-recording this before I'm doing that. So, I have no idea. Sorry if you can hear me shuffling around on the couch. But I don't know. I really do not know how long it will end up being. I'm aiming for probably 15 minutes or less. It probably will be less than 10 minutes. It might be 10 minutes depending on how much information I put into it. I'm going to try to put as much information, but it also depends on how quickly I speak and everything. But that is... that at least the bonus video for this week coming out tomorrow at 7 p.m. just like all of them. I have realized I had always told you through the videos that my schedule is Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, but I didn't tell you what time frame. So it comes out at 7 p.m. is what I aim for each video. Most of the time I get it up on 7 p.m. The very first day that I posted, so the very first Wednesday of December, that wasn't the case. That was a little late. Ended up coming up on December or the next day on a Thursday instead. Really early Thursday morning. Because I couldn't get the footage. I was having so much troubles exporting and everything that night. So, but also my intro. I was mainly working on the intro that took so long. But for the most part, all the videos, the second that I got the intro done, the outro is pretty easy. The outro is far easier than the intro to figure out, because the intro I did pretty much all myself. I was going to do more parts of it. The diamond I didn't draw myself. I was originally going to draw it and animate it myself. And then I just decided no. Because it was being so much more difficult than I had initially thought it would be. So I ended up buying, it was very cheap to buy actually, buying the footage of the diamond spinning, and then I had to do frame by frame. I did the animation part in the beginning for not the spinning but the rest of it happening. I don't know if that makes sense, but that diamond itself spins, but then the movement across the screen, that was me. So the diamond, when it's stationary, I'm pretty sure you can notice it when it actually stays still about the 30 or 13-second mark, excuse me. You can notice that it's still spinning. It's just staying in one spot. I didn't do that, but I did move it across the screen. So that's what I mean by the spinning. So the rest of it was completely me. And then of course I picked the music. I didn't make that music, but I picked the music and everything. So the outro though, I found footage that I really liked that I felt went with the song that I had picked. So that was pretty easy. The outro was way easier than the intro. I kept the outro simple. Partially because of time restraints, and also because I just kind of like simple outros that, I mean, there's already stuff that happens on the screen anyway for the stuff that you link out to. I don't know why I'm talking so much about this. I think it's because this video is so long that I'm just letting myself go into some really weird tangents. So I hope you don't mind that I'm just kind of speaking even more nonsense than usual. So but yeah, so this is the first floor, the regular furniture. So yeah, a lot of the time frame, I mean, this is the normal amount of time that the last two builds have taken, and it's been spent on solely the shop so far. So yeah, it really took me a long time because I'm not even done with this, and then I update it a lot more. Stella, no. No. You'll get it after I finish, okay? That all right? You don't need it. You do not need your calendar. You really don't. That was a fun way to get excitement for Christmas, but I don't think... I'm not sure that was a smart decision. I think now she expects it too much. So after Christmas is going to be fun to let her... She's not going to realize because she's a dog that, it's only for Christmas. I'm not sure about if anyone else has ever gotten those calendars too and has thought about that. Because, you can always explain it to a kid with the kid version of the calendar, but you can't explain it to any of the animals. And, there's dog versions out there. There's cat versions out there. I was thinking about that this other day, and she's going to expect it now just the way she expects her dental stick. So, yeah, aren't you? Aren't you silly? I love you. You're such a silly puppy. Pupper. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say pooper and pupper at the same time, I think. Anyway, random tangent. So this actually is almost done. The doors you can't set for sale, otherwise I would have. The flooring. Oh, I did change the flooring in each of the different things. I didn't even remember doing that. Oh my goodness. So I forgot I did that. So now we are up at the apartments, I believe. Yeah. This would be the third floor. So this is the first apartment. And then there's 3 apartments in this one. The middle building has 6, and then the first building has 2. So this one is in the middle when it comes to amount of apartments. This one has really nice apartments. It's just the one on this floor that we're currently on or the two on this floor, excuse me, those ones are like medium-sized apartments compared to both of the other ones, or the other builds. Those the ones in the middle building are the smallest, and a couple of them are studios. These ones are probably just a tad bit bigger. They actually have laundry units in the apartment themselves. The middle one doesn't. The one on the right does as well. So they're a tad bit bigger than the ones in the middle, and they're definitely nicer. So these apartments on this floor are a little bit smaller than the third apartment, which is actually also on this floor, but it also has a lofted section, so it's technically 2 floors. I guess I could have done all 3 being lofted, but I really wanted one specifically to be lofted into the section with that what's the word, with the loft section, the roof section that you saw at the very beginning of the video. The reason why I did that too was actually because of a Delicacy video where she had posted 4 different apartments, 4 different little, so I forget what she called that video. It was a few months ago, but she had used some roofing in some ways, and each little room or apartment, whatever it was built with the same size, but they were completely different, if that makes sense. And same general style, design style, but each were very different. And then that kind of made me want to do the industrial loft type style without the kit, of course, and then also do some of that same type of thing. That's part of the reason why there's so many apartments too, and there's so much in this build, is because I really wanted to do the same thing but in different ways. So each apartment has its own, each building are they're similar, but from each building to the other one, they're different. So similar takes, each apartment has their own layout, kind of. Some of them have repeat layouts. The middle one is really a repeat heavy. There's pretty much 2 of each type. They're just flipped. This one is the 2 here are the same, just kind of flipped. One of them is a little bit bigger than the other one. But same style, same wallpaper, actually. I chose the same one. And these 2 are the only ones that have this wallpaper, this exposed brick, or the painted over brick. I love this, and I had never seen it before this build. So, see, that's the thing too. I've said this earlier in this video, but this, honestly, this whole entire series was I didn't go into it thinking that it was going to be such a refresh because of how big it was, but in a way it was a refresh because of how much detail and how many things that I ended up having to look at that were all still all still very industrial in nature, but I had not seen before, just because I haven't done that many industrial things. This is part of the reason why this video is so long, because this specific apartment took me so long. And this layout was harder than the other layout on the other side too. So, as you can see, because we're going to spend probably a good chunk of time just on this one. We've already spent a good chunk of time on this one apartment, but it will be a little bit longer. So, this is where, in some of my more recent builds, which I don't think I haven't posted any of those yet, and so, but this is where I started to, they're all in the gallery. That's part of the reason why I had to think there for a second. And my gallery ID, it's always in the description, but I'll go ahead and say it too. It's born number 2 be a diamond, same way as it's spelled here, just without the games. And that's my gallery ID if you want to download this build or any of my other builds. But so, what was I talking about? Shoot. This was the one where I got the idea to have so I had a sliding door custom content. So I thought about doing the door frame instead, because obviously I didn't want to use custom content in this, and then a curtain, and see if that works. I'm not 100% sure if I tested the because it's mainly the washer and dryer, and it's definitely in the loft apartment, the one that's right above this one. I know I included it in that one. I think I included it in this one too. I know I included it in the one across the hallway from this one. So it starts to become a thing that I do, and a lot of the other builds that I have. I think they do work. I'm not 100% sure about that. But it just looks so much more realistic, in my opinion. And I've started to include some of those sliding glass doors and stuff like that for closets and everything. I do believe that they still work. I'm not 100% sure about that. But in all the builds that I do that, I also include some dressers in other places too. So it's not just the closet. So you have an actual, like, it looks like a normal closet, but there's a way to, update their wardrobes too besides that. And in one of them that's coming up, actually, I believe, not next week, it'll be the week after. I believe it's going to be on I think the 29th is a Wednesday, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's the 29th. And so there's actually one of the builds that I did a full-on playroom. And there's a closet with sliding doors, and then some of the classic shelves that I love to put in, like the fake closets and everything. The shelves, the immaculate, and then I put a ton of toys on them. So it's a toy closet in the playroom. And of course there's toys in the actual playroom itself. But I don't know if you can get to the toys in the closet. Of course, I'm pretty sure you can drag them about and everything. And you could probably drag them back onto the shelves. But just so you know, that is coming up. I really love that I'm starting to get really build heavy, and I'm starting to do these things that are kind of more realistic. But of course, some of them I'm not 100% sure about whether or not they are, because I didn't play test them. Because there's other workarounds in the build itself. So, I mean, there's always a way to get around it if you don't want to use it. I will say that build also has custom content in it. And when we get to that video, of course, I will leave all the custom content in the description. But just so you know, if you do like the build when it does come out, it does include custom content that I really love. There is a version on the gallery that it's not a finished version, and it doesn't include the custom content. So it's right up to the point that I started doing the custom content. So of course you could do that as well. If you don't have custom content, you could always download it, and then it will take out all the custom content for you, because it won't be in your game. It may or may not try to substitute too. So if it does do that, then I mean, you could always try doing that. I'm not sure about, because it's been a long time since I've tried to download something with custom content that I didn't have. When it comes to build stuff, I think sometimes it does substitute for like stuff in it. So that is coming out in just a couple of weeks. Maybe potentially next week if I end up, there's one big build that I'm working on currently that at the time of doing this voiceover, I haven't finished. And that's currently scheduled for the 31st. But it's starting to turn out so big that I might need more than just one day for it. So, and if that's the case, then instead of the 29th, that video will end up being moved to the 25th. And then the 29th and the 31st will be the same. It'll be one build again. So, and maybe potentially if that build ends up getting so big that it needs 3 videos, then of course it will have 3 videos, but it will stay on that 29th, 31st, and the 1st. So that weekend, if that's the case. So at the very least, it will, or at the very most, I should say, that the video that I'm talking about currently, the house that I included, the house or the playroom and everything. That one will be out either the 25th or the 29th, depending on how long that's the last video of this month will end up being, and whether or not it needs more than one video. So I feel like I haven't talked about this build in a little while. So we have pretty much finished that first apartment now. Like I told you, it did take a long time. That one apartment took like 10 minutes alone. So yeah. So I did not realize at the time how much time I was spending on just that one apartment. I knew it was taking me a long time, and I had spent a while on that one just trying to figure it out. But this one, for whatever reason, I think I was trying to push because, like, I wanted pastels and everything, and I wanted to push myself to be a little bit brighter than I had been in the rest of the build, and have more of the pastels, but more like some whites and stuff like that. So it's not as industrial as some of the other ones. It's still kind of industrial because it has that, like, the white, I call it white brick because I can't think of the right word for it. It's not really white brick. It has it's like the stuff over the brick. That's very descriptive, Alexis. Thank you so much. Anyway, but because of that, I wanted the furniture in the apartment to be kind of lighter as well to play into that. And it's still kind of industrial, but it's like a different take. It's like a lighter industrial. I feel like when you think of industrial, most of the time you think of like the really dark colors, like really dark brick. And this is kind of like the exact opposite. So I'm not even sure if it would still count as industrial. Maybe something different. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an interior design major. I thought about it, but I never went to school for it. So obviously, I didn't do that. So, I go by what I think things are, not what actually technically they are. So there's that. And then this is the top apartment now. As you can see, we're starting to do the layout of that one. So this one takes me a little while because I'm also finicking with the layout of this one and how I want to do it, because the bottom floor of it is very tiny, and then for a second there I thought maybe that should be its own apartment on the bottom, and this is just a penthouse. But I really wanted that more of like the loft style. So it ends up being a loft style. And I think I changed this a little bit from what it ends up being the final version in this because of playtesting. So specifically the roof here. So the bed is there right now. It will not stay there in the final version that you upload from the gallery. So that is also something to keep in mind. I really wanted that bed there, but it did not work out the way that I wanted to. No matter what, you couldn't use the side that's closer to the roof itself because the roof is too low, the glass roof. So looks really cool. It ends up still being very cool. So I'm still really proud of how it turned out. But kind of, in real life, I would just duck. I would make do with it. I don't care. It's such a cool room. And it's actually a very big room too. It could be its own little apartment. You could have a little kitchen in the corner. You could have a little, there's the bathroom. The bathroom is a really nice sized bathroom. Ends up being pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And then there's a nice, this is also the best part of having that furniture shop, because sometimes if I didn't want to go through the whole catalog and find the exact light that I was looking for, I would just find it on the wall. I would just go down to how many floors it was from me. So for here, like you just saw, I went down 2 floors, grabbed the light I wanted, and just went back up. I actually ended up being a lot faster than going to the lighting section, scrolling to the right light. So, I mean, I love it. I forgot that I did that, but it kind of cracks me up now looking at it. This room right here ends up being I think I might change it back to the white, similar to the apartments on the floor below it, because it ends up being just so dark just because of where it's located on the lot, specifically in Willow Creek. Currently, we're still in Magnolia, but so surely I thought I had changed it a lot sooner than now, but I must have had changed it after I had finished it. I thought I had done it a lot sooner than that, but it still looks like we're in Magnolia. Wow. I did not realize it was a lot later than what I thought it was. I thought for sure. I originally thought that it was in the first part, and then it didn't happen in the first part, and then I thought it was in the second part, and I mentioned it in there. At least I think I mentioned it in there, and then it didn't happen in the second part either. Actually, I didn't mention it in the first part because the first part that I mentioned it in the original first part, and then the voiceover ended up really, really wrong, and it keeps on being really wrong. So I just kind of got frustrated with it because for whatever reason that one was coming out really robotic, and I've been doing it. I've tested out this video file, and it doesn't sound robotic at all. At least right now, it doesn't. I'm hoping it doesn't at the very end once I stop this, because then I would have wasted a whole hour. But I've done the first video as of right now. I've done it 3 times already, and it keeps on just coming out really robotic when I've already. So I did the first part, and then I redid the first part, and then I went on to the second part and tried to see if maybe it's happening with all of my Premiere Pro, and if I just accidentally turned on a setting, and my second part was fine, so then I went back to the first part to see if I could fix it, and then I deleted the first part and started a new file for the first part, and it still was having the same problem. So then I went to this part and I tested a little bit. I tested like a couple seconds of it, and it was turning out fine on this one. So then I know after I finish this, if I make sure that it sounds correct in here, then I'm going to go back to the first part and see what setting is different, because that I must have accidentally done a setting. But if it was a setting and if it was only on one of the videos, I don't know how I could have closed down the video. I deleted the whole file for it and then restarted a file for it. So I don't know what's happening with it. I'm really confused. Long story short, I'm probably going to end up doing it a few more times. If the first part was really robotic-y, I probably put a pinned comment on that video. I'm apologizing for that too. I know I've had a lot of technical difficulties lately. I do apologize about all that. It's been really stressful. Yeah. Stella. I know. Not yet though. You're asking for it way too early. You don't get it until like 6. It's 5:54 p.m. right now, so literally about the time that I'll go a little bit past 6. But that's when she's supposed to get her calendar. That's when I've been giving it to her. For whatever reason, she thinks that she should get it like right after her dinner, and then she thinks that she should get her dental stick right after her dinner, and I don't give that to her until like 7 p.m. So, for whatever reason, she's already been fed her dinner, she's been fed her lunch, she's been fed her breakfast. She just wants things on her schedule. She wants things when she thinks that she should get them, not when I think I should give them to her. So, gotta love dogs. She's so spoiled. I love her so much. Yeah, aren't you, Stella Bella? Her real name is Stella Louise, by the way. I just call her Stella Bella because it's so much fun. Anyway, so as you can see, we're pretty much done with this one. This one I put like a ton of plants in. This was before the plant kit. The plant kit. That's the other kit that I bought. I did buy that one. So I included that in some of my last few builds that haven't been on this video yet, or like on YouTube yet. I haven't included them as much as I wanted to yet, so far. So, and the build that I'm currently working on probably won't include it. I do have a build in mind, though, that I'll probably use so many plants that you'll be so sick of plants. It's not a plant store. I've seen some people do plant stores. I have an idea, okay? Just trust me. Just trust me on this one. But anyway, so this one's starting to wrap up a little bit, as you can see. I'm just putting the final details on the last apartment. This one, this was part of the reason why I wanted to upload videos for December, the month of December, this build specifically. So I'm actually feeling kind of weird that this is the last part of the build itself. I didn't think I was going to feel weird about it now that I'm getting here, but I'm actually, wow, I don't know why I'm starting to feel, but I'm so happy that, like, I'm so happy that it's going on YouTube, but I'm also kind of happy that it's finally going up, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm happy that it's getting the closure that I wanted to have it. I wanted to put it up on YouTube for so long. It's been getting, I think I've mentioned this in the first part, but this build has by far been my most downloaded build. I've gained a couple of followers on the gallery. I have 3 followers on the gallery now. And I think 1 or 2 of them have been a direct result. At least 2 of them have been a direct result from this build specifically. Another one happened after my latest build that I've posted on the gallery, which will be the build, not the 31st build, but the 29th. The 29th or 25th. So that one. So not too long away. There'll be 2 or 3 builds in between now and then. I do have that bonus video coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in this video, but I know I mentioned it in at least the video before. I'm already forgetting I forget easily what I talk about before, especially when I'm talking for an hour straight. So I do apologize if I repeat some of the things in here a lot. But the bonus video coming out tomorrow will be about the apartment, how to make a functional apartment. So that one I'm really, really excited about. I hope you are too. I hope that it'll be very informative. And I hope that for the people who have already downloaded this build or are planning on downloading this build, I hope that it will be helpful for you, so you have an idea of how to actually use this in this game, so it's not just like, another lot that you download just to be pretty. Because I do want to have lots that are actually functional. That is always a goal of mine, is to have something that you can actually use and play and actually see a part of your game, be a part of your actual real life game. I don't know what I was trying to say, but that is my goal. So I really, really hope that you check out that video. Of course, hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell. Mainly the subscribe and notification bell. The like just came to me and I said it first. So, but the notification bell and the subscribe button to know when I post those specifically. I do tweet out every single time I post a video as well. So if you follow me on Twitter and you have notifications on my Twitter as well, then you will also get those notifications the exact minute I schedule those tweets to, the exact minute that my videos go out. The link to my videos on my Twitter goes out too. So you can always check it out that way as well. That's what I was talking about the laundry with the archway with the curtain. I don't think I tested that. I'm not 100% sure if that is usable. There's so much laundry on this lot though, so hopefully you'll be able to use it, or be able to find some place to use the laundry. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I mean, the rest of it is just little, there's where I made it light. I did make it lighter because this room is so dark. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the entire build. I know it was a lot. It was about 2 hours of footage. So if you made it through all 3 parts, thank you so much. Obviously, you liked it. You clearly liked this build. Hit the like button. Comment down below what else you want to see from me. If you want to see more things like this from me, or if you have any suggestions for build ideas, I would love to know. I'm always open to suggestions, and I'd be down to build something if you ask me. I'm pretty much open, and it'd be more of a time restraint on whether or not I'd be able to build it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm doing a little bit of touch-ups here and there throughout, but yeah, that's the build. I hope you liked it, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.